All right, just want to set some ground rules really quickly. Get your great internet connection ready so that you don't miss anything. Make sure your internet is on point so that you don't miss anything. Keep your microphones and cameras off while people are talking or presenting so that others will be able to concentrate. Please, it's a request. Then we will have Q&A at the end of the session. So as people are talking, you can keep your questions, and then when it's the Q&A time, you can ask your questions. Finally, use the chat section to drop your comments and questions as well. So let's have a great time, shall we? Okay, all right. To give us the opening address, not the welcome address, not sure she's here yet, is the Chief Customer and Marketing Officer of AXA Mansard, Jumoke Odulami. All right, I don't know if she's here yet. Okay. Wow. All right, so just a brief introduction of what she's in charge is and what we're here to do today. The title, like you already know, is Personal Branding for Women. So we see, a lot of women needy in this area, wanting to know how to package themselves, whether they're business people, whether they're in career, on how to grow, how to move forward, and how to be a brand that everybody can reckon with. So this is why we've come with this webinar for you. We hope you do have a good time and you learn a thing or two. So to give us the first presentation, titled Becoming the Best Version of Yourself, is Rashidat Adebisi, the Chief Client Officer and Executive Director at AXA Mansard. She's worked in AXA Mansard since 2005. And prior to being in AXA Mansard, she has worked in different areas of the financial services industry. She's also she's an alumnus of University of Lincolnshire and Humberside, UK. And she obtained her BA honors in business accounting at Oxford University. Please welcome with us Rashidat Adebisi.
Thank you very much, Yemisi. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. The day is coming to an end, but we know that life continues even when you get home afterwards. If you're not working from home already and trying to balance all the different responsibilities that you have as a woman, or you could be as a single woman or as a married woman, because women, we found that in AXA especially, we believe that we're superheroes because, we're the shield of the family. We're there for everyone. Sometimes we wonder whether we're there for ourselves. And so we have to be very intentional to be there for ourselves. So thank you. I do hope you can hear me well and see me. And Yemisi, thanks for the opportunity to just talk a little bit about myself. This is such a big question. They're asking me to containerize, becoming the best version of yourself as a woman, my story in a very short period. So Yemisi, I will try, but I wouldn't be able to touch on all the exciting points. Maybe we'll shed a tear or two on the way, but we will try our best. So thanks. I've been privileged to work with AXA for, as Yemisi said, about 16 years now. I started sometime in 2005 in the company, but that wasn't my first job. I probably started my first job when I was 18 years old. And this typically happens to many people whom I school in certain countries where you have to face the vagaries of life, the reality that, it's not just about doing one thing alone. You have to, try and do something by the side to ensure that at least least there's some extra income coming in from one side or the other. Like she mentioned, I've definitely worked in different areas, but my passion seems to be insurance for one reason or the other. And I'll say to you that it's a passion for me because being able to create, the right platform to protect people, to be that safety net. Because in the long run, all of us on this call, we are actually the safety net of our family members. When anything goes wrong, someone is going to come and call you and ask you for help. So we are the safety net. So imagine if there could be this organization or industry that would be the safety net, so that whatever you are doing is that extra layer on top of it. I think it speaks a lot to who I have become over time. I schooled in Lagos here, my secondary school, and I was one of those who went to the boarding house. I don't know if there's anyone here who went to the boarding house, but I went to one of the Lagos State model colleges, by the way. And I would say that being in the boarding house taught me a lot about independence growing up. Independence, understanding that it will be very challenging sometimes, but you would overcome. From the process of, going to school, where we call the Pride Week, the first few days that we start school, where you bring your provisions and your box is full with all the nice things that you brought from home. Everybody's proud. Then to the starvation period, the periods before you get a visiting day in those days. I hear that these days, it's really fun and wonderful things in the boarding house. But when we went to the boarding house, it wasn't luckily the same. So that period for me was very formative. And it got me to realize that, being resilient was something important. Whether you're a man or a woman, you needed to be resilient. You will face challenges. You have also opportunities. I was also lucky enough, or sometimes we call it maybe not so lucky, in secondary school to be a prefect. And if you ever got that sort of job, if you were in secondary school in Nigeria, it was not the easiest job, especially with your classmates. They were not the easiest people to manage sometimes. So I think that also helped me to learn to be a bit more diplomatic, to negotiate, but still get the things done while managing both the teachers, my classmates, and everyone as a whole. So I would say that for me, boarding house was very useful because it taught me resilience and it's helped me all through my career. Having to take extra responsibility even when I was young was also extremely useful. And perhaps, being a member of the Literary and Debating Society was also very useful. Sometimes, public speaking isn't something that is being taught in our schools, and it's something we need in our career, whether you are an entrepreneur, because as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to pitch your story. You might have a good skill, but if you're not able to tell that story and share it, it takes away from your ability to be the best version of yourself. So some people felt it was just extra work. Some people actually were part of the Greek Student Society rather than they didn't want to be speaking in the Literary and Debating Society. So this sort of experience, I think, is useful. And if you missed out on it, there's still many ways to catch up because there are now online programs where you can learn a bit more and practice. Some people even practice with their mirrors every day to say, So I believe that being a member of the Literary and Debating Society was definitely useful and has continued to help me in my career. But of course, I've had to improve because what we needed to tell someone that I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that this topic is the best topic, is definitely different from real life because real life, sometimes, maybe I just confusing them, not confusing them. So I think, secondary school was very, very instrumental for me. And of course, starting work early meant that I got to see different things. And I worked in different sectors while I was in school and even after finishing school. So my home background as well has been essential because, I have some personal values. And my personal values, I actually think about it in my natural language, which is Yoruba, because, when I was growing up, there was always one thing that kept ringing. Remember the child of who you are. So if you're someone like a Yoruba, sorry, someone is unmuted. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, thanks. So if you're from Yoruba land, Yoruba person, there's this saying that I heard all through growing up, meaning that remember the child of whom you are, right? And I actually hear it in my mind, in my mother's voice. And it's shaped me significantly, I would mention to you. And why? Because whenever I want to do anything, I'm saying to myself, imagine there's a camera filming me. Will I be happy with what I'm doing for my parents to see, because I wanted to make them proud. They gave me so much, and they invested a lot in my career, in my life. And more importantly is that they told me that I could be anything I wanted to be. So I think that was also a big springboard for me. So move all of that, finishing school, having a first degree in business accounting, taking my professional exams. I feel that the professional exams are essential depending on which sector you are in. If you're a career woman, if you're an entrepreneur, having something that, sort of ensures that you have the requirements, the professionalism for whatever you're doing can be very useful. So my mom, for example, her second career is, being a fish farmer. And she's the CEO of the farm, if I'll call it that. And for her, right, she believes, in having best quality, wonderful fish from cradle to the table. That's her own drive. And she's joined associations like, the Catfish Farmers Association, and, they've kept improving and trying to standardize. She took a few programs, from the fisheries department, for example. So sometimes we think that it's just about being a chartered accountant or being, taking a chartered banking certification. But sometimes exposing yourself to things that other people are doing, best practices, is very essential, and it helps you to sort of like set your standards higher. And growing up, one thing too that I would also put on the table is that my mom was one of those mothers that believed that even though you're going to school, you must learn one skill or the other. So I think for a few months, I actually went to learn how to sew, so I can sew. And for her, it was just that have multiple skills. You don't know what you would like to do, even though sewing is not my own natural one. I actually like cooking a lot. So cooking and, creating different dishes is actually something that I enjoy doing in my spare time when I do have it. So all of these things, when you put them all together in our career, whether we're a business person or an entrepreneur, I've found out for me, Rashidat, was that being very curious, trying to learn about what's going on now and what it looks like, what the future looks like, has been very essential to helping me become the best version of myself. Why? It's pushed me to learn the right, programs, the right certifications, create more awareness about the sector that has enabled me to be more of a professional. And when you're a professional, it means that you set higher standards for yourself. It means that you push things further. You might do something as a hobby, but if you want this to be a career, if you want this to be a business that will take care of yourself, your family, perhaps live beyond you, then it means that you need to put just that extra. It's not just about being naturally good. It's now, how do we fine tune this natural goodness itself? So that has been very, very useful in my career. In insurance, I've been here, I've worked in different roles, starting out as an accountant, like I told you. I got chartered, I've worked in another insurance company before I worked with AXA Mansard. And so far I started from finance, and I had to learn about insurance, because being an accountant doesn't mean you knew insurance. So I had to learn. So I took some of the courses in the insurance exams, and that created even more knowledge for me. So that learning and, creating curiosity for yourself, I think those are two key core foundations that has sort of pushed me through. The resilience I learned in secondary school continues to help me through the daily life, because how do you balance the family, the home? So since I've been in AXA, I had my first child before starting. So my oldest was born in 2004, and I started in AXA 2005. And I've had two more kids after in the company. And when I first started, it wasn't as easy, right? When you took your maternity leave, it was just 90 days. They'll count it for you, and they'll say to you that, no more holidays after this. You've already taken 90 days of holiday. But we knew that it was not a holiday as a woman. But if people like me and others didn't push through and ensure that the rules were changed, and by the way, the rules have been changed in AXA Mansard in particular. We now have our women not just take their maternity leave, they can take an annual leave. They can also ensure that they take some extra time off if they need to sort out things at home to balance their family life. So creating some level of balance, although my preferred word is now integration, because you need to integrate, creating that right ecosystem for yourself, ensuring that, you are still able to contribute. Because in the long run, I think where people have problems is that, did you keep contributing whatever it was? I'm not a believer that being pregnant is a disease. I think I've challenged a couple of people. It's part of my life. It's part of who I am as a woman. So if you can't handle me in that period, then maybe I'm not in the right place. But I've been lucky to have gotten the opportunity to be supported while being in AXA. And over these last 16 years, I've also done other things. So after working in finance, I got the opportunity to also work in retail sales. And now, I'm in a different stage in my career in the company where I'm responsible for ensuring that we can actually drive growth and influence and impact people positively across all the lines of businesses, health, general insurance, life insurance, and asset management in Nigeria for AXA. So that's what I'm doing now. And all of the different experiences, I found out that those who challenge me the most, they help me to learn the most, they help me to grow. So challenges and, sometimes conflicts are actually good, but it's about learning how to manage conflict, not avoiding it. So that's been very, very useful as well. Being passionate, it's going to help anyone in their career, but it's been useful for me. I have this fire in me when I enjoy something, when I like what I'm doing. So this fire continues to burn. And I say to people that passion is like a jewel. Whether you are in the sun or in the moon, when it shines on jewels, it's just sparkling. Everybody wants to be there with you. Success has many fathers, but when you're not successful, oh goodness, it's an orphan. In the best English. Sometimes I call it another name, but everyone wants to associate with success. But success does not happen in one day. It continues to happen across different stages of our life. And therefore, in order to come to the point where I will stop soon, I don't. Yemisi will tell me whether I'm going over time or not. But in my own career, what have I found? I found out that I could challenge myself constantly. I don't compare myself to anyone. I'm my own competition, and I keep asking myself, am I better than the last version of myself? I think the secondary school experience, I will say again, was useful. Being a prefect and, of course, getting some awards along the way in school. I think in my secondary school, I was the first person to get best overall student. I was not the student with the highest number of A1s, because it wasn't for me. It's not because I was first position. It was just, I think I asked the teachers, why will I be first overall when we had someone who had 8 A1s? And they said, no, it's about balance. It's about, I was a sports person. I was a prefect. I was involved in different activities. And I think that gave me that opportunity. So I've held on to that sort of thing to create a team environment, teamwork, knowing that I'm not an island. I'm not, I can only be the best version of myself when I collaborate with people. So collaboration has also been very useful for me, and growing and grooming other people and giving them an opportunity. Why? I got the opportunity. I stand today on the shoulders of many women and men who have influenced me, who have challenged me. I could literally mention names, but I'll try to keep it short. I don't know, let me see if I'm still within my scheduled time. But
Yes,
so
you're
there were women who showed me that I am fantastic. So there are women in the financial sector, because when I was growing up at first, people would say that if you're going to be a career woman, career in quotes, career was like a negative word. Because career women did not have a life. They were not married. They did not have children. In fact, they'll say that she doesn't have a husband. She's a career woman. And I think that's so terrible, because sometimes we put together the fact that you and someone can get along to just because you are working and you have a particular job. So I'm not a firm believer that it's about being a career woman. But I also found out that the women who influenced me, there were women like Titi Oshutoki in GT Bank, there were Kafila Taroye, Auntie Mo, popularly called Musmola Tamarat. There were these women I saw in career who were creating, making waves, and they had their own homes, and they were married, they had children. So role models are very important, and I think that has influenced me positively. And there were also men who continue to encourage both men and women. Theirs were just about meritocracy. To be successful, you had to know somebody, or you had to be the girl that was, maybe sometimes hanging out with a particular guy, so the boss, so that you could get a job. But people like me have seen that, no, it's about just, outperforming. And sometimes you outperform where you are, and it might not be recognized, but it's yours, because you develop that muscle of being a great performer. So being a great performer continues to be something that I pursue as a person personally, as before. So one key thing that I would, give as maybe just my own little tidbit, because I'm sure there are women here who probably are more experienced than I am. But in just my own little experience is to say to you that, look, really, you can be anything you want to be. You don't have to compare yourself. You don't have to define your success by other people's successes, because other people's success will be different from yours. So just that charge that I'm being the best version, I'm improving myself, I'm growing, has been essential to making me who I am. So if you're not happy with me, it's okay, but I will try and find out, can I do something to make it better? Did I do something wrong? I would look for the essence and I would ignore the noise. And the noise is because, sometimes there's a lot of noise. Some people, they don't know how to pass messages across to you. They in their anger or their disappointment, they sort of share their message to you and they're giving you feedback, but the feedbacks can get lost in the way they deliver it to you. So I learned over time to ignore the noise around the feedback and try and find the feedback and examine it and say, okay, can I do something better? I think there's someone that is unmuted. Please, can you mute your mic?
Please
Thank you.
kindly
I think
mute
Eniola
your
Bolaji
mic. Please,
is the
everyone,
name.
kindly mute your mic.
So, yeah. Yes, sure. So I just keep asking myself that question. Okay, what exactly are they trying to put? And I've learned over time. I used to be one of those people who get upset easily just because somebody said something, but I learned to calm down, try and understand and listen to them. That has been also very useful for me in my career. In my own company, in AXA Mansard, people like Yetunde Ilori, and even men like Tosin Shewe, Wolabi Salam. These people were men who stood for women, who encouraged people, and they've been very useful. So sometimes we'll find those who would impact our lives around us. Sometimes they'll be somewhere else. Sometimes we will get rewarded in our organization. Sometimes we'll be somewhere else. But for me, I think fundamentally is that if you keep challenging yourself, which I did in my career, you will just be the best version of yourself. You would have done so much that whether you are recognized where you are or somewhere else, that skill, that muscle is your own, is mine. So I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself. And I think that comes back into being, in our career, whether we're an entrepreneur or we're just in the career world. And not all of us can be entrepreneurs. And I don't think it takes away from you if you're an intrapreneur, because that's what I am actually. I'm an entrepreneur, but I was born by entrepreneurs because my father's second, my father's third career was in farming as well. My mom's second career, my dad had worked in a company before. He had set up and run others, and before he came into farming. So they're entrepreneurs. I mean, I lost my dad now, unfortunately, in 2019, and I miss him sorely, but I still have my mom, and I'm very thankful for that. And I see the challenges of entrepreneurs. I see as an SME what they need sometimes, how we can protect them, and it continues to drive me to create new solutions to be able to do that. But I also ask myself, can I impact? Yes, I can impact. Can I own part of the company? Yes, I can. If your company is a listed company, you can buy the shares on the floor of the exchange. If you're an SME, you own your business. But even as SMEs, and sometimes I say to my mom and I talk to her, I said, do you want this to go beyond you? If you want the business to go beyond you, you have to rethink the way we're doing things. We have to standardize more. It can't be just about you alone. You have to be open to other people's ideas. Of course, I have to say it nicely. And those things are challenges that entrepreneurs must think about. And don't think that your children will take after you. It used to be that a lot of people will create companies and say, my child will take over. What if your child isn't interested? That's one. What if your child is not talented? That's two. So for me, I am interested in my parents' business, but I'm also an entrepreneur and this is my own nature. So I continue to pursue my entrepreneurship, meaning that I'm an entrepreneur within an organization and I'm helping to drive the goals of the organization. And I admire people who are taking that leap to be on their own and push things, and I respect them for that. But it doesn't take away from me as an entrepreneur as well, because I'm also pushing boundaries. And I know that one day I would step into another space, and I'm not sure where that space will be, but I know it's a space where I'll be excited about, that I'll be passionate about, because I've set for myself a standard that it wouldn't be about money alone, because money isn't, I mean, the sector we're in isn't the highest money payer right now, but it can just give you so much value. I want to be able to impact people's lives. I want them to be able to at least continue their dreams, whatever the situation. If an unexpected event happened, I wanted to be able to be one of those who created that safety net for our people. And that continues to be a big motivator for me. And when I look at my mom and her business, can I be someone who creates a solution for her business so that if an unexpected event happens, I can still support them? Yes. So that coupled with my own drive continues to push me as a person. So I think you can be a housewife, you can be a career woman, you can be an entrepreneur, whatever it is that makes you happy, you can be that. But just make sure that that's what you want. Make sure that you're giving it your best, and don't do something shoddy, because if you do, it's really yours. You'll just be a shoddy person by nature. But if you do something that is always great, but it's not about seeking perfection, by the way. I'm not a perfectionist. I don't believe in that. But I think over the years, I've also learned to share a bit more. So I'd like to say thank you very much to the team that organized the event. I hope, like I said, there's not a lot of time, but I feel, in summary, that, for me, trying to professionalize myself, learning a lot about my company, my industry, being part of the people who have volunteered to help the industry in different areas. And I've done that over the years, worked in different, committees, the technical committee. I chaired the technical committee. I worked with different, initiatives, and some of them, of course, have earned me some awards. I was a young professional I won the Access Bank Young Professional sometime around 2015, which was really great. I wasn't expecting it, as it wasn't what I was looking for. But it was just a really nice, award to get. I did win a couple of awards as the best CFO in the industry twice. And that also was, another affirmation. But I wouldn't say there was that. If you don't get an award, it doesn't mean you're not a great person. But getting an award, hey, even wonderful, very nice. And I think learning that from secondary school was very useful to say it's nice to get the award, but can I now use this to even do more? Can I do better? So that's really what has happened for me so far. But I mean, I'm still very young in my own mind, at least, even though I've spent 16 years in AXA. And I'll say to you that I still see some really exciting times ahead. The way technology and digital is going, I'm learning new skills. I'm hoping that I can leverage my own experience now, my transferable skills, learn the new skills available, and put that together to ensure that I keep me remaining relevant as I move forward as a woman, as a person. And hopefully I can also influence a lot more women to see that it's possible for you to be the best version of yourself. It's possible for you to make an impact wherever you are. And even when no one sees you, you see yourself. And you just need to believe in yourself, and you can retrain yourself. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yemisi, so that I can stop using your airtime. And it's just been a great morning. Sorry, afternoon already.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much for your time, Rashidat. Thank you.
Sure.
If we have questions, if we have thoughts, please share them in the chat section, and we'll be looking at them later. But we will move quickly to our next speaker. I hope she's here, Mrs. Wale-Koya. Okay, Emily Wale-Koya. She likes to describe herself as not your ordinary girl next door, and she doesn't act like the ordinary girl next door. She believes we all have the potential and power to chart our own destiny, to forge our own course, and to wreck status quo, irrespective of where we were born, how we were born, and where we live, or what our educational qualifications are. She's a highly sought after public speaker and coach, and she's a personal branding pioneer and social media influencer. Her name is Mrs. Emily Wale-Koya. Some of us might know her as Emily Speaks Live on Instagram. So please let's welcome Mrs. Emily Wale-Koya. Are you there, please?
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You're welcome.
You're welcome,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Wale-Koya.
Thank you, Yemisi. Thank you, everyone. Give me. Let me see. Am I good to go? Is this okay? Do you have a good view of
You
the
are,
video?
yes, okay, I think you're in front of your screen. Okay, good. I think I can see you well now. Yes.
Okay. All right. So am I good to go? Do I start?
Yes, please.
All righty. Hi, everybody. Good evening. If you're not in Nigeria, hello to you. And thanks so much for having me here. Thank you, Yemisi, for having me here. Thanks to Rashidat as well. And thanks to the entire AXA Mansard company for having me here. So Yemisi, we're going to, I need the slides up, or do I have rights to share it from my end?
I can get the slide up for you if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. So once again, thanks for having me here, and hello to everyone. Feels good to be here. I bet you we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. So welcome to the webinar. Welcome to the webinar, Personal Branding for Women. Yes, you can just go to the next one. Yeah, my name is Emily Wale-Koya. I'm a certified personal branding strategist. I'm also a business coach. I'm an international speaker. I'm a personal branding pioneer, Nigeria's personal branding pioneer. Basically, before personal branding became a thing in Nigeria, 4 years ago, yeah, I actually revolutionized this and took it mainstream. And I remember when people would invite me to speak at events, they would still refer to me as brand strategist, and I would correct them. I'm not a brand strategist per se. I'm a personal branding strategist. It's a different thing. Those are two different things. Brand strategist is someone that works, to brand businesses and organizations. I work with the individual. The individual is the brand. That's why it's called personal branding. And we're going to learn more about this as we move on. I've been privileged to train over 300,000 people, home and abroad, and I've been featured across major media platforms. These are a few of them: channels, TVC, Guardian newspaper, Wazobia Max, and a couple of them. So because of time, I'll move on. MC, yes? So once again, thanks to AXA
Mansard.
Thanks to AXA.
AXA.
What?
AXA Mansard.
Okay, AXA.
Yes, AXA.
Okay, thanks to AXA Mansard for putting this beautiful event together. I remember, I think I used to call you guys AXA Mansard, until I was invited to speak here. Yemisi told me it was AXA Mansard. All right, so thanks so much for putting this together and giving us the opportunity to come together to learn about personal branding. So what in the world is personal branding? Really, what in the world? I mean, most of us have heard the phrase or heard those two words thrown around social media every single day. If you follow me, for example, I talk about it almost on a daily basis. So if you follow other people, or maybe other people that you follow, or you see it around and about, personal branding, build your brand. What in the world is personal branding? So I'm going to try to explain it to us, and then hopefully we will all get it, okay? So I'm seeing a message on my screen. I don't know if I'm supposed to respond to that. I don't know if it's an official request from Yemisi and her amazing team.
Okay,
what in the world is...
Okay, we have said that we will address questions at the end of the session. So yeah, you can go on.
Yes.
Questions that I dropped in the chat.
All right. Okay, so we'll take questions at the end. So I'm not going to respond to anyone who is asking anything right now. Okay, so Yemisi, please move on. So what in the world is personal branding? What in the world does it mean? What is personal branding? So in a nutshell, this is concise. This is quite concise for anybody to get a grasp of what personal branding is. So personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, and differentiating themselves from the competition to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. Yesterday, somebody sent me a message. I should have put a screenshot of it here anyway, but I didn't remember. Somebody sent me a message on Instagram and said, "Oh, Emily, there's a way you talk about personal branding, and I think I'm confused because personal branding that I know," she was the one talking to me now. Personal branding that I know is about how you dress, how you speak, and how you look, but the way you talk about it in a business or in a business-oriented way. And I told her, yes. Personal branding is different from personal image. Personal image is how you look, it's how you're positioned, it's how you dress, it's how you talk. It's all is all on the surface. Personal branding, on the other hand, is deeper. Personal branding is the conscious. You have to be intentional because anything that has to do with branding is an intentional effort. It's conscious, it's proper packaging. You don't appear anyhow, you don't talk anyhow, you don't do business anyhow, even up to your business. You do it consciously with an intention, okay? And there's effort. So you have to put in some work to make it happen. So you put in work to create and influence public perception, okay? The same way you want to buy a Coke, and then a Coke doesn't just come in any kind of bottle. I mean, the Coke that we used to know, the first Coke bottle that came out is different from the one that's currently in the market. It's now plastic and it's very handy. It looks very well put together, and you can see the Coke logo. The color of the bottle is red. The Coke has that their label on it is red. It's written in white text. It's properly put together. It's a conscious effort. It's an intentional effort to influence consumer perception. Is an intentional effort to influence public perception so that you can buy Coke. So if you want people to do business with you, if you want people to employ you, if you want people to notice you, then you have to consciously and intentionally put in the effort to create influence, okay, and influence public perception of yourself, which is what personal branding is. And it's also about you positioning yourself as an authority in your industry. Personal branding is about you positioning yourself as an authority in your industry. And I'm going to teach us how you can actually do that. I have done that. I'm proof. Okay, I'm proof that you can actually position yourself. See, when I introduced myself and I said I'm Nigeria's pioneer personal branding strategist, it's not a title that I earned in school. It's not a title that the federal government gave to me. It's a title that I put together and added to my resume. I put it there. It's intentional. It's not a lie, but I could have just wove it aside and I could have said it doesn't matter. But after proper research, I knew that, okay, this really mattered. This is something that I should put in my resume. Okay, so I'm positioning myself as the go-to person for personal branding, as the go-to person for personal development, as the go-to person when it comes to public speaking for women and every other thing that I do. So this is like in a nutshell, as concise as it could be. I'm going to step it up a notch and just say it in one phrase. Personal branding is about individuals positioning themselves as products in their industry, okay? It's about individuals like yourself and myself intentionally positioning ourselves as the go-to authority, as products that people should actually pay attention to or buy, whether you're selling your services or you are selling things that you created. It doesn't matter. Okay? Let me say, please move on to the next slide. Your personal brand, this is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos he used to be the richest man in the world until most recently Elon Musk took over. So let's just say he's still the richest man in the world, right? Okay, so Jeff Bezos says your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So I'm the one that has put all the other things together. I'm the one that put board meeting, networking events, and meeting room. He says your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room, when you are not there, when you are not there to speak to anybody, to influence anybody's decision about you, when you are not there and people are talking and they mention your name, what they say about you when they mention your name, that is your personal brand. So in retrospect, your personal brand is your reputation. Your reputation. You are reputable for ABC. So when people gather, when people meet, when people are talking about you, for example, when you leave this place now and you're telling your husband or your women are the ones here, you're telling your husband or you're telling your friends about Emily Wale-Koya, what you say about me, that's my personal brand. Even if you haven't really spent time to know me that well. So your reputation, what you're known for. When they mention Fumilayo, when they mention Yemisi, when they mention Buki Efuga, when they mention Ijoma, when they mention Emily Wale-Koya, what they say about me when I'm not there. If I wasn't here, Yemisi read my, she didn't really read my profile. I don't know where she got that one that she read from, Sha. All right, so if I wasn't here and Yemisi said the things that she said about me, that's my personal brand. Okay, I know she mentioned certain things that are, of course, that they are the things that I have been putting out there every single day. You know, personal branding, remember, we said it's intentional. It's intentional. It's not, it doesn't happen by happenstance. It's intentional every day. How you appear, how you position. Personal brands have logos. The same way business brands and companies have logos. The same way we have MTN logo. The same way we have McDonald's logo. The same way we have Nike logo. Your personal brands have logos. So your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the meeting room or boardroom or board meeting or network marketing event. Let me see.
What are you doing there? Mama, why you shouting like a mad woman?
Mute your mic. Please mute your mic.
Let me see. I'm waiting for you to move. Yeah, please.
The time that moved.
You can actually mute everyone. Yeah, you can actually mute everyone so that they are not able to unmute themselves. Can I go on?
Can you mute everyone, please? Yeah.
Yeah, just mute everyone and pick the option of they should not be able to unmute themselves. And let me know when I should continue.
Please go on. Please go on.
Okay then. All right. So personal branding tells your audience three things. As long as you're building your personal brand, you're either trying to appeal to your bosses or appeal to companies you are aspiring to work in, or you're trying to appeal to customers. Let's say you're a business owner or an entrepreneur. So whatever divide you're on, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are a career person, you should be building your personal brand. You are already a brand. That's one thing that I would like to establish for us here today. You are a brand. You are a brand. Okay, as long as you are in the market, as long as you have a business, as long as you have a job, as long as you have footprint on the internet, you are already a brand. And every one of us here, everybody here is an adult. Every one of us here uses social media. Every one of us here, you either run a business or you actually have a job or something, at least 90% of us here. So you are already a brand. What you want to start doing from today is to be intentional about the kind of brand you're building. Whether you are a brand or not, we have already ruled that one, that you are a brand. So it's to become intentional and conscious to build the kind of brand that you actually want to build. Your personal brand should tell your audience three things: who you are, what you do, and what makes you different. Who you are, your identity. Who are you? Who are you? Your name. Who are you? Who are you? What do you do? So that's like the problem that you solve. And then what makes you different? What makes you the person that everyone should come to or pay attention to or listen to? What value do you bring to the table? So this is like a summary of what your personal brand should be doing. Who are you? What do you do? And what makes you the go-to person? What makes you the authority? What makes you the one people should stop and stare at? Not because you're pretty physically, but because of the value that you bring and how you're able to solve problems for people. So let's go on. When you build your personal brand, and your personal brand is also known as the brand of you, okay? The brand of you. So you have the brand of ABC company that you work in, or ABC business that you run, and you don't have your own brand. So personal branding allows you build a brand for yourself. It allows you build a brand with your own name. It's incredible, an incredible concept. It's an incredible tool. You build a brand with your own name. So they mention Emily Wale-Koya and people are applauding, they know you. They mention Oprah Winfrey, people are applauding, they know you. Just the way they will mention Beyonce on the stage and the people are applauding, people want to die because Beyonce is on the stage with a microphone. They're applauding, they're screaming, they're shouting, and they actually paid money. They paid money to come and watch her sing. Now she has come, they're still shouting and want to die. It's a serious matter. There was a time when personal branding was just for celebrities, because they were the ones that had access to television. They were the ones that had access to media, television, newspapers, radio. But it has now come to every one of us. It's available to every one of us now because we have social media, which is also a type of media and the newest type of media, and it is now available to everybody. So social media is actually the television of 1976. If you have a mobile phone and you have access to the internet, you actually have access to media that is like television, that is like radio, that is like newspaper, that you can actually use to get the world to watch you, to notice you, to pay attention to you, and to actually pay you. And I'm going to show us how we can actually do all of that. Hopefully, time would permit. So when you build your personal brand, also known as the brand of you, you can actually get paid, you can actually get seen, and you can actually get heard. Progress is happening for women all over the world. There's a shift. There's a shift happening for women all over the world. Can you guys hear me? Somebody says volume is low. Let me quickly be sure that you guys can hear me and I'm not just having a party about myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. And if you feel I'm too fast, you can also let me know. I'll try to slow down. I'm a fast talker, but I'll try to slow down if my attention is called in that area. All right. So progress is happening for women all over the world, like all over the world. Okay, all over the world. There's a shift. We're having more women that are becoming managers. We're having more women that are becoming presidents. We're having more women that are becoming mayors in America, for example. We have more women that are becoming course creators, more women that are becoming speakers, paid speakers, professional speakers, more women that are into business, more. Data actually backs this up. It has never been this progressive for women, like never ever in the history of humankind, never. We live in the best times, as far as I'm concerned, that women can live in. The best times. I'm not saying that it is perfect yet. It is not, and maybe it will never be. But if you and I can actually take the opportunities that are before us and use it to launch, if you and I can take our mobile phone to even shoot a video and you post it every single day, if you and I can become so hungry to build our brand and become the go-to person for what we do, I believe that you also be able to make a similar confession like I just made, that we live in the best of times as women, the best of times as women, the best. So there's progress being made, but at the same time, there are too many invisible women doing extraordinary things. They are doing extraordinary things, but they are not seen and they are not heard. They're invisible. They are good at what they do. We listened to Rashidat just a few minutes ago. In fact, I was reading her profile and I was scratching my head. I said, me, I don't get all this degree. I can be very open with you guys, right? This is me anyway. I was just reading. Did I say Stanford or I saw Oxford? I saw one other university that starts with an H. You see, I really paid attention, yeah, right? Rashidat, I paid attention, and I was like, let me have this guy's degree. Why don't I have all this type of degree? Why I no go all this type of school myself? But it's incredible that we have. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity, no doubt. But if you and I can take the opportunity that we have, we don't have to take the same opportunity that a person took. We can look around us and grab the opportunities that are before us and around us and not complain. So I grabbed my own opportunity. I'm building a strong brand on social media, on Instagram especially, and I started from zero. It is the brand that I'm building that got AXA Mansard to find me, to pay me, to speak here, to be here. The same thing that has helped me to go speak in other African countries. All expense paid, and of course, my professional fee as a speaker was also paid. So no complaints, no whining, no, I don't have this, I don't have that. What you have right now, what can you do with it? Everybody has access to social media. You're here right now. You're going to be here for the next 1 hour or something. That's internet. That's data. And you can use it so that we stop being invisible, because you and I have what it takes to change the world. If we are hungry, I want you to remember that word hungry. Hopefully I'll come back to it because it's not in my slide anywhere, but it's a word that has been haunting me recently, haunting me for good. Hunger. If you and I are hungry, we can actually do a lot. So yeah, let me see, move on. Don't worry, move on. Once you move to the next slide, I will just follow you and go to the next slide. So I don't have to tell you to even move. Once you move, I'll move with you. Except I have something to say. I'll tell you, no, stay, go back a bit. But I'm sure that's going to happen just once or twice. So several studies have shown that women don't self-promote their work the way they ought to. Several studies have shown that we don't self-promote. There was a time when I couldn't do this thing that I'm doing right now. There's a time when I couldn't show up on Instagram. I used to be very timid. When people hear me speak, they don't believe me, but I have evidence. I have sisters. I have 4 sisters. They cannot tell you the truth. At least my dad is still alive. He can tell you. I have cousins. They can tell you, oh yes, Kalamama, which is my native name. Nah, speak where? I used to be in the choir. I spent 15 plus years in the choir, and I could never solo a song because I was too timid. I knew I was good. I knew I'm not a kind of chorister or musician or music person that you teach a song and I when it's time for me to deliver the song, I will deliver it the same way you taught me. No, I will deliver it in my own way. I'm so creative when it comes to worshiping God and leading people to worship him. I'm so creative. I change everything about the song, but I could never ever take the microphone to lead a song. And I wanted it so much. I wanted it so badly, but I couldn't show up. I was too shy. I was too timid. For you, I don't know what your own timid or version of timid or shy or holding back would be. I don't know if somebody told you. It could even be your parents that told you, you can't do this. A lot of us have been told, oh, your place is in the kitchen. Oh, you should be having children. Oh, you must get married. That's what we've been told. That's how they patronize us. Oh, it's your job to trim the child's nail. And if you don't trim the child's nail, your husband can't trim the child's nail. It is just a woman's job to trim the child's nails. It is our job to brush their teeth. We came with that from the day God manufactured us or created us. That's what we're supposed to do. So a lot of us have been told those things, and for a lot of us, that's how we've been living our lives. We don't self-promote. How can you be so good? It's even against scripture. For those of you that are Christians here, it's even against scripture, because you don't light a candle or put on a candle and put it under a bookshelf. You don't hide it. So if you're so good at what you do, you are light. So if you're hiding it, that means you're going contrary to the order of how God wants things to be. Okay, so let me see, move on. Don't let me spend too much time on a particular slide. If you leave me here, it's still 9 though. We will not go anywhere, it's still 9. All right. So let me quickly say this to us. Breaking news, ladies and ladies. If you're good at what you do, but people don't know you exist, people don't know what you offer, people don't know that you are good, they don't know that you are the best, they don't know that you are the go-to person for what you do, then sister, no one is going to do business with you. Nobody's going to hire you. Nobody's going to pay you. Nobody's going to notice you. If you want to get noticed I'm talking about big time notice. I'm talking about CNN coming for you to ask you to come for an interview. Big ambition, big ambition. Big, hungry, mad ambition. Because it's not a sin. It's not a sin. So if that's you, then you have to build your brand. And that's why we're here today. When you build your personal brand, remember I said that's the brand of you. That's the brand of you. The same way somebody would say, I want Coke, I don't want Fanta. That is how somebody should say, I want Buki Efuga. I see the name on my screen. Buki Efuga. I don't want this other person. The same way people would prefer MTN over Glo, that's how people should say they prefer you. You are the choice for what you do that they want. This is how I like to also say this. Personal branding is the future of entrepreneurship, is the future of marketing. Personal branding is the future of entrepreneurship. Personal branding is the future of marketing. Personal branding is the future of marketing, any form of marketing, whether it's in a company or it's in a business. Personal branding is not going anywhere. Take this to the bank. Tell anybody Emily said so. It is the future of marketing. Individuals will continue to rise. Influencers will continue to rise. People prefer to buy from people than to buy from companies that they don't know. They prefer to buy from people. If I'm to fly to London, for example, right now, and I go to the airport and I see a Virgin airline and another type of airline, whichever one is available, I probably will go with Virgin. You know why? Because I know Richard Branson on social media. I see the things that he's fighting for on social media. I feel like I know him on social media. Why should I go to some other one that I don't know? They're not doing anything. They're not impacting the world in any way. They don't talk any. They don't talk. They don't do nothing. So I'd rather go with Richard Branson's airline, and he will get my money. That's why you must brand. That's why, remember, if you and I are going to build multi-million-dollar brands, if you and I are going to build multi-million naira companies, then you and I must be seen and heard. We must be seen and heard. We must be seen. And for us to be seen and heard, we must package. We must be intentional and conscious of how we show up. Women must learn this. You and I that are here today, we must learn this and we must begin to use it from today. You don't show up anyhow. If you want to be noticed, you have to show up in your highest self, whatever that means to you. Your highest self. You must package well. If not, nobody will notice you. Nobody will pay you attention. Nobody will notice you and nobody will give you their money. If you want more customers, you must brand. If you want the job in any organization, you must brand. The people who want to hire you would prefer to hire. Imagine if somebody was hiring me with all the things that I know, with all the social media influence that I have, with all the, it's not just the influence that I have, but I'm so self-aware of my brilliance. That's the power of personal branding. You learn how to make an impact. You understand your power, your personal power and your divine power. Let me move on. You need to review the way you view your career. Your career could be your job, okay? It could be a business. You need to start reviewing the way you view your career. You are not just at your job. Do you know, I can't remember the percentage now. Is it 75, 85% of the world's population hates the job that they are in? Of the world's population hates the job that they are in. And that's because you and I were never taught to embrace our strengths. My God, we were never taught to embrace our brilliance. We were never taught to embrace our awesome. We were never taught to embrace our purpose. Imagine if you are at a job that aligns with your purpose. You know you will function at peak. So I want you to understand. Okay, let me move on. I want you to understand when you're building your brand, your personal brand has to be authentic. Authenticity is the thing, or the word starts with an A. So authenticity is the first letter in the ABC of personal branding. Maybe I should write a book, A to Z of personal branding. Right? Is the first letter, authenticity. And what is authenticity? For right now that you and I are here, it's anything that the real you would not do. Anything that the real you, okay, wouldn't do. You need to find out what makes you fascinating, okay? And then you need to build your brand on your true strengths. What makes you fascinating? What makes you interesting? What makes you the one that people come to all the time, all the time? They want to be around you for a particular thing. You need to start looking at that thing because that might be the area to build your personal brand around. Women are important to the health sector. Women are important to the economic success and social stability, of the world at large. We are important. Nobody should, somebody, I saw something somewhere recently, and it was a quote. The person said, women are not equal to men. Of course, we're not equal to men. We birthed them. We birthed them. We birthed the whole population in the world. We have our place. Everybody has their place. We have our purpose. Everybody, the others, men have their purpose. We're not fighting. There's no controversy. There's no friction. It's when we try to go against the order of things that there's friction, there's fight. We have our place. The reason for that quote is not so that we can fight. The reason for that quote is so that women can remember that we have so much power, not even muscular power, but power to choose, power to be heard. That's the type of power we're talking about here. Power to speak up. Power to be ambitious, to want what you want. That's the kind of power. So the big question now, for you to build your brand, the very, very big question is, what do you want to be known for?
Okay.
What
I
do
mean,
you want to be known for?
please let's start rounding off because of time.
Okay, let me see.
Hello?
Yeah, what did you say?
I said because of time, let's start rounding off. Let's move faster.
All right. Okay, so what do you want to be known for? Because that's the concept of personal branding. It allows you to brand yourself as what you want to be known for so that people can accept you as that person that you want to be known for. Personal branding can do for you many, many things. Let me see, you can move to the next slide. Many, many things, and I'm going to just show us. You can move to the next slide. You can move to the next slide. All right, 94% of people only look at the first page of Google results. 94%. So when somebody goes onto Google and types Emily Wale-Koya, the first page that comes out, that's what they look at. They don't have the time to go and start searching everything else about yourself. So you must ensure that you are intentional about the things that you put out there, what you blog about, what you post on Instagram, what you post on Facebook, and all of that. 1 billion names are searched in Google every single day. 1 billion names. People are always looking for people. They are always searching. If somebody wants to know more about me, they go to Google and check. My website will likely pop up. My Instagram will likely pop up. My Facebook will likely pop up. And whatever else that I have done or wherever else that I use as a platform will likely pop up. So how do you build your personal brand? I'm going to run through the 6 to 7 things that you can do or steps to start for you to take to start building your brand. I'm going to spend 5 minutes and then I'm going to wrap up. Number 1, define your brand. You need to know what you want your brand to be about. You need to know who you want to serve, okay? You need to know how you want to look. You need to know the what of your brand. So you need to define your brand. Who are you? What is your brand? Who do you serve? What do you serve? How do you serve? You need to know all of these things and then you need to put it together. Number 2 is for you to have a specialty. You need to be able to have an expert area, an expert zone. You don't want to be a generalist, because people don't pay attention to somebody who does everything, anything that comes, you want to jump on it, you want to do it. No, you can do many things. This has nothing to do with whether you are multi-talented or multi-gifted. You can do 50 things, 100 things, but we're talking about one at a time. So you want to be a specialist at one particular thing per time before you begin to stretch and do other things. Number 3, you need to write your bio. Okay, you need to write the who you are, what you do, and how you help, the results you help people get. So you can put this bio on LinkedIn, you can put it on Instagram, you can put it on Facebook, you can put it on Twitter. Okay, let me say move on. Okay, and also you want to launch either your blog or your personal website. A blog is not out of fashion. It's not out of the market. It's still very useful. People use it. So either you're using your blog or you're going to have your personal website. Personal website now means it has your name, emilywalekoya.com, bukiefuga.com. All right. So it's very important because when people go looking for you online, Emily Wale-Koya, your website is what's going to pop up. Okay. So it's important you have your personal website. Number 5 is for you to launch your platform and start building an audience. Launching your platform, okay, your platform here can be any of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, whichever one you choose that you know has the people that you want to serve. They use that platform the most. So you can actually go there and start building. All right. And then number 6 is to launch your platform and start building your audience. All right. So you want to start building your audience. Once you launch your platform, let's say you take Instagram, you want to start building an audience. For you to start building an audience, you have to start creating what we call content. A lot of people spend time, a lot of people get scared and uncomfortable creating content. And because of time, I cannot really share how you can actually create content and how you can use content. But content is the currency on any social media platform. For you to actually grow and build an audience on social media, you must be creating and using content, whether it's a video or whether it's a podcast or whether it's pictures or whether it's text, you must be using content. And the last one in this order of things, in terms of you building your personal brand, is for you to monetize and scale. Now, this is one I cannot even share much about, but the truth is the ultimate goal of personal branding is to create something that can be monetized. Your personal brand, you're not just building a personal brand for building sake. You're building it so that you can actually monetize it, because you can actually create products that you can sell around your personal brand. I'm going to just run some by you and then wrap up. Let me see, move on. So these are ways that you can actually monetize your personal brand. You can start offering coaching. Okay, you can start offering coaching programs. If you are an expert, if you are, let's say you are weight loss, you sell weight loss products, or you work in an organization that sells weight loss and you are the chief weight loss executive or something, right? You can start, if you want to start building your personal brand, then you can actually start by offering coaching programs that can help you monetize. You can create an online course that can help you sell to people who now follow you online, okay, who are now part of your tribe or part of your audience. You can also offer masterminds. You can write books, be it an ebook or a print, physical book. You can do any of them. Ebooks are pretty easy to put together, okay? They are pretty easy. So it's where I usually ask my students and my clients to start, an ebook, just start with that one so that you can begin to understand how this monetization thing works. You can also speak at live events. You can actually host yours, or you can have people invite you to theirs, and they can pay you for it. You can do merchandises. You can actually launch physical products, lipstick, t-shirts, whatever you actually want to create and monetize. These are things that you can do anytime. So the importance of building your personal brand as a woman is because you need to get heard and you need to get seen. You need to be taken seriously. You're good at what you do. If you're good at what you do and you're the light, in your industry, in your niche, then there's no need to hide or not self-promote. You're not self-promoting you per se. You're self-promoting your brilliance. You're self-promoting your awesome. And that's the reason why every woman out here today must begin to build your brand. When you build your brand, you get opportunities. When you build your brand, you can actually ask for an increased pay. When you build your brand, you can actually command premium clients. I'm sorry I cannot go into all of this or share, all of this with us today, but I believe that with the few things that I shared with us, somebody here would have gotten it, and actually they can actually get out there to start building their personal brand.
All
okay,
right,
so let me see. I think I'm going to stop here. Yeah, this is not the last of my slides. I have my concluding slide, which is going to take about 30 seconds or a minute. There are just 3 of them or so. But if it's time for Q&A, which is the next slide, then I can take Q&A.
Okay. All right. So
Yes.
thank you very much. That was pretty insightful, especially for me. Thank you. And I'm sure that people have questions and reactions. So let's see if there are questions here. Okay, I don't seem to see any question, but
Sorry, yeah, so there's a question about how do you create and build your personal brand in a corporate environment, please?
Okay, how do you create and build your personal brand in the environment? Thanks for sharing for that, Rashidat. All right, Mrs. Wale-Koya.
Okay. Okay, so like I shared, okay, you're already a brand. Whether you work in a corporate organization or you run a business, you are already a brand. There are things that you know, there are things that you are good at, there are things that you are exceptional at, that you actually want people to notice you or pay attention to, when it comes to that thing. So you want to ask yourself, what am I good at? What do I do well? What value do I bring to my organization? And if that is the role, if that is the space that you operate in your organization, then yes, you can take that online. See, social media is the primary platform for you need a platform. When you're building a brand, you need a platform. You need a place like a pastor who stands on the pulpit or on this altar to speak on Sundays, or a singer who's always on the stage singing. Social media is going to be your starting platform, and it's free. So today you can just set up your social media account with your name, and then you can begin to build your brand. When you start building your brand, your bosses will likely notice you, because, for example, you can offer to take a 10-minute session or 5 minutes session at your organization. You can, when they are saying, okay, who's going to help us do this, you can put your hand up. You need to show up. You need to be visible. You don't hide. If you can do it, then show up boldly. Oh, I can take it. Oh, I can do it. Oh, I can fit in there. Oh, I can fill in the gap for this person. So you need to put your eyes out, put your ears out for these opportunities. Okay, so what you can do in a nutshell is to identify what you're good at and the value that you bring to your organization. If it's the area that you currently operate, then actually go on social media and start building your brand. The way to start on social media is you have to create content. So you have to put a video out, or you can put an audio podcast out, or you can actually put an image of yourself, and then you teach something. So personal branding is about you giving value. You have to serve people. You have to give for free. You have to teach. That's how it works. So, and that's where content creation comes in. You use it to teach every day. You teach around your area of expertise. That's why I said number 2, your specialty. You must have a specialty. And by the time you begin to do this, eventually your company will notice you. Somehow they will notice. They will see. They will notice. Somebody can mention to your boss, oh, Nkechi, she does this. So she has over 100,000 followers. Before you know it, the opportunities that will be coming your way will blow your mind. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. There's another question that says, when you're multi-talented, how do you choose?
When you're what?
Multi-talented, how do you choose?
How do you what?
Choose.
Oh, how do you choose?
Okay, like what you want to build your brand around?
Yeah. Okay, so you know, like I said, you can do many things. There's been that school of thought that you should just pursue one thing. No, you can actually do many things. But the way to know what you should do now, because there's a time to do something, there's a season for things. There are times and there are seasons for things. Okay, so the way to actually, if you're multi-talented, like I am multi-talented, you need to ask yourself, what is going to serve you right now at the highest level? What is going to help you be the most productive version of yourself? What's going to be so fulfilling for, I've given you 3 questions that you can ask yourself. What's going to be most fulfilling for you right now if you start? So list out all the multi-things that you have, all the multi-passions and multi-talents that you have. Write them down on a book. Yeah, actually get a book out, write them down, and then look at them critically. Which of these can I start now that would make me be productive, that would help me be profitable, that would help me be happy and fulfilled? I can make an impact with it. Like right now, and which of these is the least resistance? You know, I don't need so much to pursue this. I don't need all the money in the world to actually launch this. I can start right now. So once you answer the question, I believe you're going to come to one thing that you can actually start. So that's a formula to use for anybody who is multi-passionate. You have to be serving your highest self. You have to be. You have to be. So ask yourself that question: which of these things, my multi-talents? You know, there was a time when I had to choose between singing and speaking. I used to be in the choir for a long time, and I never knew I could speak. I just used to see my pastor on stage. He'll be speaking, preaching. When he's preaching, I'll find myself preaching to my own self, you know, imaginary, just preaching what he's preaching to other people. And then when I started to notice that, oh, I had a passion, I had a heart for this thing, I called myself one day. I drew the line. I said, Emily, between singing and speaking, which one is going to work out for you the most? And the way that I got my answer, I looked at the speaking industry, the singing industry, and I was like, I don't want to record any song. You know, you have to be true to yourself, to thy own self be true. I said, I don't have plans to ask any album like Sinach. I don't have plans to do any CD. I just want to be singing in the choir. But when it came to speaking, I found that I had ambition. I was hungry. I wanted to be on the stage. I wanted to put my CDs, let people be hearing my voice the way they are hearing Tony Robbins. So that's how I settled. And then I asked myself a very critical question. I said, if they count the first 10 people in the singing industry, will you be there? And I answered myself, no, I will not be there. Not because I'm not talented, but because I knew that I would not be able to put in the whole work that I needed to put in to make it happen. Because I was not ambitious, I was not hungry enough for it. So when it came to speaking, I asked myself the question, the first 10 people, this was 5 years ago. I had not even started speaking. I don't even know whether I could change the world. There was nothing like change the world inside my dictionary then. And I said, oh yeah, speaking the first 10, I'll be part of it. Oh yes, I'll be part of it. So that's how I shifted. I didn't stop singing, but I left singing as, I didn't commercialize it, just sing in the choir. So I hope that will help somebody who is multi-talented.
Okay. All right, thank you. Another question says, is it advisable to have more than one brand? And how do you go about it if you have more than one?
Is it advisable to have more than one brand?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to define, or you need to clarify what type of brand you're talking about. So when it comes to your personal brand, you should have one brand because it's you, you're a person. It's one brand, it's one voice. You don't want to confuse anybody with your brand. Oprah Winfrey is Oprah Winfrey. Tony Robbins is Tony Robbins. Beyonce is Beyonce. As a personal brand, this is the person we know. This is what we know. That they have that foundational niche. All right, should I use that word? I'm missing what I should use. They have that we know them for this. So your personal brand is one brand, it's one person. It's you, Emily Wale-Koya, you, Rashidat Adebisi, you, Fumilayo, something. Okay. When it comes to your business, you can have different brands. When it comes to your company, you can do plenty of things. You can have ABC business. You can have what they call it now, pure water company. You can have a bag brand. You can have, as for a business, you can have many. But as a personal brand, it's you. All right. Yes, it's you.
All right. I think we can take one more question. How does one integrate a brand with a business with one's personal brand?
I didn't get you.
How does one integrate a business with one's personal brand?
How does one
integrate a business with one's personal brand?
Okay, so let me just give you a quick example. I had a coaching session yesterday with a client. She makes clothes. Okay, she makes clothes, and she wanted to structure her business in such a way that her personal brand is infused with the business. All right, so that was what the session was about. It was a 3-hour session, it was a strategy session, and we're able to do that for her. So her personal brand, she loves God. All right, she has found out that she's very, very gifted when it comes to searching the scriptures and understanding it. She said it's like they put light, touch light over the scripture, and she just sees so much more in the scripture. So she said she wants to be able to help women know their power, understand their why, change the world, but she wants to do it through the clothes. She still wants to do the clothes she's doing, but she wants to carry this personal brand and join inside and do it. So in our discussion, we were able to come to an understanding of how she can do this. I'm not going to give you the strategy that I gave her that she's going to use, but of course I can share how you can do the same thing. So sometimes your personal brand and your business could be one. Oh yes, so we use NHN, you're very correct. Yes, I had to talk about that because you got it. We use NHN a lot as a strategy. We use 3 people actually as a strategy, not as an example for her. Then we were able to come up with something, but we came up with something even better than what NHN is doing. I'm telling you, better. My client was blown away, better, right? So like you said, NHN is doing it. So NHN she's a preacher now, but that's not what she started with. She has a business. She makes clothes, but now she has been able to infuse her preaching and love the Lord's passion into her business, and she does it as one. So one of the things that you can actually do, like I told my clients yesterday, you want to build your personal brand. Her current Instagram account is a business account. Okay, not business account per se, it's a business, it's for her business. So only clothes are there. Then she has some of her pictures there, and I told her you have to take all of this away. Okay, so this is what I told her. Use this account as build your personal brand. All right, be the model for your business. Wear your clothes, go do photo shoot every time you have a new collection or something. Let it be you as the person that is on your page every day, wearing your clothes, and let people be buying it because they see you. And because it's a personal brand, you can actually come one day and put a scripture and tell them you have a fellowship today. They will listen because it is your personal brand. It's not a business brand. It's infused with your business. Nike cannot come and be doing scripture or whatever else as a person. Nike is a business. But if Nike was just starting, Nike can come as the human being, called the owner of Nike, can come as the human being and be doing Nike and still be doing whatever else he or she wants to do as a personal brand. As a personal brand. I don't know if this give anybody some sort of clarity. Did it? Whoever asked that question, did this help? Yes? No?
Okay. All right. We hope that helps. Thank you very much for that. So, wow, it's been an amazing time. About an hour, 30 minutes now. Yeah, so the person just responded that yes, it has helped her. It's about an hour, 30 minutes now. And in the absence of any further questions, we will just take the closing remark from the Chief Customer and Marketing Officer of AXA Mansard, Jumoke Odunlami. Jumoke.
Hello, everyone. Yemisi, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope the session has been very enlightening. It has been very enlightening for me. I mean, hearing from two leading ladies, Rashidat Adebisi, really great personal story, which is an inspiration to us all, to me, actually. And of course, Emily Wale-Koya, really, really great. I think something really great that I took out from her presentation was the fact that you must be deliberate. You must be deliberate about, building your personal brand. And, incidentally, I was coming from another session just this afternoon, and we were talking about brand. And it's not different. It's not totally different from when you're building a brand for the company as yourself. Basically, what is your brand? It is the feeling that you create, the feeling that you generate when your name comes up. How do people feel? What do they associate with that name? So thank you very, very much. Like I said, it's been really great. Just to quickly say that this is our She is in Charge series.